is an expression of gratitude. I appreciate the fact that tonight, you're here tonight not just to talk about the challenges we face in the federal budget, the challenges we face in healthcare, the challenges we face in foreign policy, but you're also here to help the candidate running for re-election. You've been very generous, and I appreciate that. And I'm grateful for that kind of help. And I'm also cognizant that one of the obligations that I have as a senator is not just to be generally concerned about foreign policy, but I have an obligation as a senator, as a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, and especially as chairman of the subcommittee that deals with more than 30 countries, to try to visit those places once in a while. So I've done that a couple of times. I've been to Pakistan twice, once in 2008 and again in 2009. I had the chance to go to Islamabad twice. Obviously, you go there and you have a lot of meetings. You meet ministers, you meet government officials, and that's all good and important and well. But it was also good to be able to go to other places. I went to Karachi. I might have been the only senator for years who had been to Karachi to see the life of that community, that huge economic engine. Millions of people there, and they've had a tough time. They've had a lot of strength in parts of their economy, but there's been a lot of tough years there as well. I also had a chance to go to, in my last visit in August of 2009, to go to an so-called IDP camp, internally displaced persons camp, where thousands and thousands of Pakistanis were being taken care of in a camp that was very well run. People had enough to eat, they had enough to drink, they had their family there, they got medical care, and it was run mostly by, not only by, it was run by a number of agencies, but it was operated by the Pakistani military. And I had a great review of what they were doing to help those who have been displaced from the Swat Valley. When the Pakistani army went in and worked very hard and fought very hard to clear out some bad elements, a lot of people left the Swat Valley and had nowhere to go. Most fortunately were able to be brought into the homes of a lot of communities. But the ones who were not able to get into homes were brought into this camp and camps like it across the region. I was able to see that up close and see how well that camp was being run. I was also able to meet General Kiani, the head of the army and the military in Pakistan. And I met him in 2008. I also met him in 2009. And here's a guy who, late in the afternoon when I met him in 2009, it was in the middle of Ramadan. So he had nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and he's a smoker. He didn't have a cigarette either, all day long. But he never complained in our meeting. He never said, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I want to have a cigarette. He told us about the security situation. He gave us a good briefing, and he was very polite and kind to do that to a couple of American officials. So I say all that because I want you to know that I feel an obligation to do everything I can to better understand and to help foster a strong relationship between our two countries. And I know I've talked too long, and I'll take questions now, but I did want to say the last event, the last meeting I had in August of 2009 when I was leaving Islamabad, we had a meeting it was an interfaith meeting to celebrate the end of the fast during Ramadan. And you had in one room, or two rooms really, at a private home, you had Muslims, you had Christians, you had Americans, you had Pakistanis, you had a lot of different faiths and points of view in one or two rooms in this celebration. And I thought it was significant that as we began tonight, and as we heard the prayer tonight, that talked about mercy and compassion here in the United States and between our two countries. We're going to need more of that. We're going to need more mercy and more compassion and more understanding. And we're going to need more of the spirit that I had a sense of in that room, in that interfaith dialogue there in Islamabad in May, or I should say August of 2009. Because in order for the people of the United States to continue to move forward in a positive direction, that dream of the future that Jefferson talked about, and in order for the people of Pakistan to move forward with greater security and greater opportunities for education and job creation. We've got to do everything we can to work together. We've got to do everything we can to demonstrate some of the mercy and the compassion that was spoken of in that prayer tonight. Thank you very much, and God bless you. You can do some questions now.
Yeah.